because I don't know dick.
Oh. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the None of the Above podcast, home of the ill-informed and the misaligned. I'm Corey Allen, your intrepid host for this adventure. With me, as always, my co-conspirator from the 100-acre wood in the North Country, everybody's favorite wildflower, Anna Rose.
Hello.
How you doing, girlie?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing pretty good. Excited to be here. We've got a great show lined up for us. Going to check the news of the weird as usual. Some interesting things occurred in the world. Going to do the usual segments, talking about stuff. Got some moon hoax theory stuff lined up for us, which is kind of controversial. I guess we'll put our tinfoil hats back on. Going back to our roots a little bit here in this fourth episode of the show. I was trying to think if there's any housekeeping or anything like that we need to take care of, but I really don't think there is. You know, go watch Joe Rogan. They just sit there and just talk. They don't do nothing like this. There's no intro. Just the camera comes on and like sometimes they're in mid conversation. You know, like they don't even start over and go back or anything like that. He had like 1.5 million views in 3 hours on YouTube.
I know. And like it pops up within minutes of it being posted on my YouTube. Like if I'm YouTube scrolling, trying to figure out something to watch next, music, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like if I go back to home, it's on there. It says uploaded 3 minutes ago. I'm like, geez.
Yeah. And there's 700,000 views already. Like that means he's got that many people stopping right now watching this video, the 3-hour podcast. Like right now, like as soon as it pops up there. How do you do that? I can't do that. I have to, need to vote.
Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense. Like that's quick. So like what? It just pops up and everybody just pushes play, and all of a sudden it's like 3 million views.
Instantly, yeah. I guess people are at work. And, he usually posts at the same time, I'm sure, and the same time of day and all that kind of stuff because YouTube analytics like that. But I just can't conceive that many people around the world right now stopping what they're, to put on Joe Rogan podcast because it's, I usually watch little bits. I guess, people like your husband who drives, he commutes quite a bit. He listens to it, on the trek home, but his trek ain't 3 hours.
No, but his trek is 2 hours a day.
Well, I guess that's
and
true.
He listens to everything sped up too.
Yeah,
so like what takes us, like whatever. If you listen to it on normal, he's listening to it way faster.
Yeah. I can't do that. Sounds like the Chipmunks. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Also, he's a very audible learner, and I think that's why. I mean, he can listen to that thing fast, and he retains everything. It's like even throughout high school and college, he had one notebook for every grade, every subject of every year of high school and college. The same one notebook.
Didn't have to write anything down.
And there was like 10 pages written in it. And as long as he was sitting there in class, listening to the teacher, paying attention, he could retain everything.
Yeah. I've had tens of notebooks, outside of school and learning that I've had and used and went through.
I would have like 1 or 2 notebooks per subject.
Well, I'm talking about outside of school, not even going to school, just at home. I got one in my drawer right here. You want to see it?
Dude.
It's technically a tablet. Yeah, exactly right.
I have notes everywhere, all the time, for everything. I have a notebook for everything.
I have trouble converting over to the electronic, when I do stuff on here, when I do documents and things on here, it's hard. It's hard. Because because I'm such a dinosaur. Let's see here. Anything happening in the world of news?
Yes.
Diane Keaton died. Diane Keaton died. That was a couple weeks ago, but she's a legend.
Yeah, from pneumonia is what I heard. Did you hear different, or did you hear that too?
Actress Diane Keaton died on Saturday after falling ill with pneumonia, according to a death certificate obtained by CNN. Specifically, Keaton's cause of death was listed on the document as primary bacterial pneumonia, with no other significant conditions listed as contributing factors. She was 79 and has been cremated, and no autopsy was performed. A spokesperson said that somebody called in, a fire department got called to her house, and they transferred her to a hospital, but then she died. She's been in lots of movies. She's been in tons of movies, dude.
Yeah, and I was streaming something the other day, and there's so many movies now with Diane Keaton now.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And John Candy. They just released a new documentary about John Candy. So now suddenly all the streaming services have all John. And he's a legend. He's one of my favorites ever.
Have you watched that documentary yet?
I have not. Not yet. I will. It's them tear jerky ones. I can't. I got to be right.
Oh, I hear it's real tear jerky.
Well, of course.
I hear everyone cries, but I want to watch it too. But I haven't watched it yet.
He should have been so much a bigger star. He could have been leading man, like Paul Newman status. He was that talented. It's just he was a big fat dude, man. And America don't want a big fat dude as their sex symbol. I mean, like he was in and we started talking about Diane Keaton and her career, but we've transferred to John Candy, goddamn, somehow. He played in some of the biggest classical comedies of all times. Stripes, Uncle Buck, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Steve Martin, come on, get out of here. That's a classic. And Who's Harry Crumb? If you've never seen Who's Harry Crumb, I suggest you and your children watch it.
Yeah, I've never seen it, never heard of it, so we will have to watch it.
It's kind of slapsticky and childish, but it's excellent. He's excellent in it. It's funny. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where they wake there in the. You ever see that movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
When I was a kid. I haven't seen it
well,
so long.
they share, they're road tripping or whatever, and they share that room. They share a hotel room one night, and they wake up, and they're both like spooning there. You're like, hey, where's your other hand? And he's like, it's between two pillows. And Steve Martin says, those aren't pillows. It's between his butt cheeks or whatever. I think that's hilarious. I never fail to laugh at that. Him driving.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it with the kids. The kids probably need to watch it.
Driving down the highway in the middle of the night in that car that just caught fire. Oh my gosh. It's hilarious. I love it. R.I.P. John Candy and Diane Keaton. She was in some pretty good movies too. Godfather, come on. All day. All of them. She was in all of them. Woody Allen. You ever see Woody Allen movies? Annie Hall was where the first I ever heard of her. You don't remember Annie Hall?
No, not
I forgot who I was talking to for a second.
Different generation, I'm sorry.
No, it was actually a little bit before my generation. I just happened to watch it growing up. And just, Woody Allen was big in the 70s, late 60s and early 70s, which is when I was born, but I saw it all in syndication, years later, or whatever they call it, if it's syndication or not. And then this past Thursday, which, broke my heart, my beloved Ace Frehley, 74, suffered a fall in his studio and was placed on life support.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Suffered a fall.
Yeah.
Well, and he had apparently fallen a lot.
I was going to say, it was his like second one and this one caused I guess he hit his head or something. They didn't say that he hit his head, but I don't understand.
I would imagine that's probably what happened. Something like that. He hit his head.
Yeah. You know, if you're in a studio where there's plenty of tables and desks and speaker cabinets and shit sitting around and you fall, you'll hit your head on something. Unless you're wearing a helmet, and you're still going to hit your head. You'll just be wearing a helmet.
Mhm.
But I first heard about it, I don't know, man, like 2 months ago, it feels like, but it's been a few weeks ago, and he canceled the tour, a date. He canceled a date, like the 25th of September, I guess. It's only been a few weeks, but anyway. And then because he took a fall, but he hopes to be back soon and love you and blah, blah, blah. And then they released news that he had canceled the rest of the tour. You know, he wasn't going to do anything the rest of the year. He was going to have to. And then the next thing you know, we just happened to see it by accident. We just turned the TV, on, and there it was. There it was. Ace Frehley dead, 74. And I know he probably doesn't mean anything to you. I mean, Kiss as a whole, it probably means nothing to you, but
I mean,
for me, dude. Go on.
It's not like an idol of mine. It's not somebody that I grew up with. It's, whatever. But I do understand. I
Sure.
understand the importance of it. But
Well, he's the reason I ever picked up a guitar.
Really?
First time.
Yeah.
That's tributes are pouring in from all over the world of guys. All the rock guitar players, every one of them saying what an influence he was. If you grew up in the 70s and you didn't know who Kiss was, there's some. I mean, everybody knew. They were everybody household name, they call it. People that weren't even
Yeah,
famous
absolutely. I agree.
talked about it. Oh my God, did you see them crazy people on whatever show, the Midnight Special last night, or Don Kirshner's rock concert, or wherever on the news? Mothers and church groups were like forming coalitions to keep them from showing up in their town because they were Satan worshipers and all this kind of stuff. They're hooligans.
Jeez.
And they turned out just to be, rock and rollers, man. Yeah, it was sad, dude. And that just goes back to, I kind of wish we had known when did it happen? I don't remember what day it happened. Did it happen? It might have happened the night I wish it had happened during our, the one we were talking about generations and stuff, because this would have been a good segue into that because here we are, and you and I coexisting in this world together or whatever, and this being kind of a monumental thing for me, and like you don't even, you recognize who it is, but whatever. You probably couldn't name 2 Kiss songs.
Or even my kids, like you would tell them, you told them.
Yeah.
And they were like, huh? Who's
that?
Who's
Ace Frehley? Yeah.
They didn't know who Kiss was, so at least I'm there.
Oh yeah. They make it every intention to have their face in front of everyone at all times. That's how they make their dough.
Yeah.
But this just goes to show this year has been 2025. We've lost some icons, man. My generation has lost some fucking icons.
Absolutely.
If you're a wrestling fan or not, but the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, the biggest wrestler ever
That's
to live.
Costume this year. I've been seeing it. It's a popular Halloween costume. It's Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, brother? Classic. My mom liked Hulk Hogan. We'd sit and watch wrestling, and she'd be, "Oh, I wish he'd have his white tights on tonight," because he had a white pair and a yellow pair, red, and he just wore the white ones, just rare. But she liked him when he has white trunks on, his white boots. And we're just getting old. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting old. Ozzy Osbourne, a staple, and
that one hit me though. I felt that one. That one was like, it was definitely a heartbreaker.
We've seen that one coming though. Or I did.
I know, but it's still like the end of an era. You know what I'm saying? Like
definitely. And Ace Frehley dying, that's an end of an era too. That's that'll never. It's over. That book is closed
forever. Yeah, it's crazy.
And the rest of them will die one by one or all together or whatever. There'll be no Kiss anymore, especially not the good Kiss. See what else happened. Oh yeah, all them. There was an actual jewel heist. The Louvre Museum in Paris is still closed on Monday. This is like some Ocean's 13 shit.
Dude,
While
this is some
police,
Ocean's
yeah,
13
yeah.
shit.
While police investigated brazen heist which targeted France's priceless crown jewels. Thieves wielding power tools broke into the world's most visited museum in broad daylight before escaping on scooters with 8 extremely valuable items of jewelry. Yes, they reportedly arrived at 9:30, shortly after it opened to visitors. 4 suspects arrived with a vehicle-mounted mechanical lift to gain access to the Gallery of Apollo via a balcony. Oh shit! They climbed up the outside, climbed
Yeah,
up a
they climbed
ladder.
up the
This is
outside of it,
for
dude. They
cat
like pulled up a
burglars.
truck, lifted a ladder, went in, grabbed the crown jewels, came out, went down the ladder, and escaped on a moped.
Yeah,
They
and
all
2
escaped on
scooters waiting outside.
mopeds?
Yep, 2 scooters waiting outside at 9:38. They were in there for 8 minutes. They started at 9:30 and left at 9:38.
It's
This
so
wow.
crazy.
Where's George Clooney and Brad Pitt, dude? All the guys.
And then, like, they'll never ever find those. Those things are they're
Well,
gone. They're
I
gone.
don't. How are they going to sell it to how it ain't worth nothing? Because then let's say take it apart and do the jewels. Like anyone that is going to value this thing is going to know where it came from and what it is. You know what I mean? How do you fence this and make money off it unless you're selling it to like they were hired to get it, like in Ocean's 13 or whatever. Theirs were paintings, I think they weren't jewels, but
Well, I think that like you can definitely take them apart and put them in something else and resell them.
yeah,
But my thing is like, how did they get into the Louvre? Were they actually supposed to be there? Did they actually belong to somebody else and they stole them back? Who, you know what I'm saying? Like, or can they take those jewels and probably sell them on the black market and then I don't know, man, they'll
these are
millions and millions of dollars worth of
these are the
jewels.
crown jewels from the
Yeah.
former monarchy in France,
Yeah.
like the empress and the king and this kind of stuff. So these have been in their family for who knows how long, thousands of years, maybe. I don't know how long. I don't even know anything about the king and queen of France, but I just don't understand unless they've been hired by a private collector that wants these so bad. Which
Yeah, who was
what
it?
kind of psychopath
Who was
is
it?
a jewel collector? That they see it seems where they keep calling them priceless and immeasurable value and this kind of stuff, but I don't see it. You can't use it as you're going to go to jail if you try to sell it to somebody. They're going to know.
Yeah, but there's probably a lot of people that want them that know they're stolen. And so you don't think there's people out there that are like, oh, they're stolen. I wonder if they're going to be on the market soon. I want them.
I mean, A, how many jewel collectors are there in the world? And B, how many of them are criminal, masterminds? You know what I mean? Like, is there this secret underground jewel collection going
Well, I
on
mean, there's the
around the
black
world?
market. There's got to be a black market for jewels. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
but they're
black
also
market for antiques. There's a black
certainly,
market for everything. So
certainly. But there has to be a way to make money off of it in order for there to be a black market for it. You know what I mean? Like they have to
you
be able to
think that
sell
there's
this.
anybody out there that would buy it?
Not if it's priceless or it's immeasurable value is what they said. You couldn't put a price on it. So how do you sell it? Somebody like 500 million? No, that's not enough. 500 billion? No, it's not enough. It's immeasurable, they said. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they're going to, how much did it cost to buy them or to have them stolen? Plus now you got to pay them for the thing because now they own it. The people that took it, they don't got to give it to you just because they said they would. What are you going to do? Take them to court? Call the cops on them? I
I don't know,
don't know.
man. I think
I
it's
think there's
crazy shit though that it happened. I mean, it's 2025 and they literally took a truck, broke into the window, stole shit, came out and escaped. They're gone. Nobody
yeah,
even knows who it was.
yeah,
It's just so crazy to me.
lots of money. Either that or it was an inside job. I mean, it'd still have to be lots of money, but
You know what else I thought immediately? It was women.
it was
I
women.
don't know. I don't know why, but
The
I just feel
Ocean's
calculated,
14.
like super calculated. And I feel like it had to have been like somebody you wouldn't think. And women are go really unnoticed a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know why. It was a gut feeling, instant gut feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's possible. Maybe you've got some kind of secret connection because you're also full of estrogen.
Okay, Corey.
Just saying. I'm just saying. Well, so it was the one with all the girls. So with Sandra Bullock and what was that? Which one was that? Which Ocean's movie was that? Don't ain't there one where the women take over and do the thing? She gets like a Danny's.
Oh, Ocean's 8. Yeah, we're Sandra Bullock, but there's none of the guys in it.
Right. It's all the women. That's what you're saying. I said Ocean's 13, but you said, you said it was probably women. So it's Ocean's 8. This
Yeah,
is some Ocean's 8 shit right here.
yeah.
Who
And
was
that was
the
a jewel heist. The Ocean's 8 was a jewel heist.
Okay, well then this is definitely life
They
imitates art.
stole the jewels in Ocean's 8. They stole the jewels from the Met Gala.
Hmm.
And then in this one, the jewels were stolen from the Louvre. I wonder if it's like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you, man, you never know what the hell can go on. How much money was, spent on that? Good Lord. It's more money than I got. God dang it. Oh, and then Monday, there's over the weekend, the world shut down because Amazon had some kind of a failure with their web service, which they own like 40% of the iCloud clients in the world. 40 them and Google and what was the other one? Microsoft. They take up 67% of the world's iCloud, customer
Yeah,
service type stuff,
I know. That's
banks
what I was
and
saying. Like that, and everybody got affected, man. Like
the
anybody who uses their servers for
yep.
their, apps or systems or whatever it is, their memory. I mean, whatever it is
Yeah,
was
people couldn't
down.
even go
It
to
was, that's crazy.
the restaurant because their point of sale at front desk, there is ran by that, so it wouldn't work. So they couldn't sell anything. You had to have cash, and no one has cash, so they didn't have any. Then they're saying that it could be $1 billion loss for everybody involved, just for a day, and it's
That's
still going on
crazy.
now. I had two
I know.
packages ordered from Amazon. One of them was supposed to be here yesterday. It didn't get here till today. One of them was supposed to be here today. It ain't going to get here till tomorrow. Yeah. They're back up today, but yesterday it wouldn't work at all day. And that's just one website that I use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of your kids, they were talking about, she was saying, what was it? 6'7"? 6'7"?
6'7".
I don't even know what that is.
I
I
don't
don't
really
even know
know
what
what
that is.
it is either. I just know that all my kids don't really say it very much, but I know there's a lot of kids, and what they do is like they do their hands like this, and they're like 6'7". I don't have no clue what it means. I just know anytime you say the number 6 and then the number 7 right after it, any kid that's around goes 6'7". I don't get it.
I don't, it seems kind of nonsensical to me. And I think that's kind of the point. We had annoying things that we used to do to drive our parents crazy and drive our teachers crazy and this kind of stuff. But apparently it's gotten to the point where there's some schools saying, look, we're going to ban this phrase because it's causing so much of a disruption. Thanks to TikTok and all the kids having a phone. It says elementary school now.
I saw one video that was really cute. It was a math teacher in middle school. And instead of banning it, she did a math test and every answer was 67. So or 6, then the next one was 7. So like the first answer 6 and the next one 7. So all the kids are just like laughing hysterically by the end of it. It was funny. It was like, but at least she tried to, meet them on their level.
I'm talking about
a
this
little
here.
bit.
Only 6 people voted for Smileys, not 67.
Is this what you were talking about?
No.
No. Yeah, boy, I could not be a teacher. They're all being real. She's trying to teach them about something else, and they keep saying 6'7", 6'7", because they're being annoying. I could see why that's being a distraction. She's trying to teach her,
Absolutely.
teach the
Yeah,
curriculum.
but kids are always, if it's not 6'7", it's going to be something else. I just feel like it's there's something that always.
You kind of have to temper it, know when to, like, if it's just one little outburst and everybody giggles, kind of carry it along and be like, okay, let's go on, let's move past that.
I think for me personally, like for my kids or anytime I'm around kids, if I was a teacher, I would just ignore it and just keep moving on, because there's nothing that keeps going with it. They just say 6, 7, you just ignore it
and giggle. Yeah, that's kind of what she was doing at the whiteboard. Kids are like cats. Yeah. I don't want none of them either. Get it. They're such a pain in the ass.
I'll have one very soon for you if you want it.
You won't.
Yes, you will.
You won't have one for me, but I know that when we were there the other night, you were pretty sure that cat was pregnant.
Yeah,
and I couldn't really tell. She wouldn't let me feel her too much to see if I thought she was too, but apparently she is.
Yeah. So yesterday I came home for a little bit and she was laying down in front of me right in the sun, and definitely saw them babies just moving in there. Totally 100%. Saw them on one side, saw them on the other side. Then today I laid with her and she really wants her belly up. Her belly is huge. She does have like the big, and then she's got the milk coming in. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon, like any day now. Like, how long is that from the time that their like milk is in? Because it's coming out, and the babies are moving in there. And I can tell there's definitely more than one. There's definitely 3 at least, because at one time, I don't know how big they are though, unless it was like I could feel it on this side and feel it on this side.
3 is pretty small litter, I'd say. I think there's going to be 4 or 5 of them probably. What do you think?
I think there's going to be like 5 or 6.
You've had cats that had kittens before. How many did they have?
Yeah. I had one cat that had kittens, and she was a tiny cat, but she was all black, so you couldn't really tell a whole lot on her. And I didn't even know she was pregnant. That's how tiny she was. I thought she was like, her belly was a little bit bigger, but she also got pregnant at like 6 months old, and I didn't even know cats could get pregnant that young.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
young.
I just thought she was getting bigger because she was getting to be an adult. And then one day she came out in the hallway and she had a baby coming out of her. She had 4, and I barely could see a belly on her. This cat has a belly, and these things are moving.
Yeah. Well, here, let's figure it out, man. The gestation period is around 2 months. With three
I have no idea when she would have gotten pregnant.
If there's three trimesters, so that's 20 days each, approximately. She's got to be in number 2, the second one. If she's already, lactating and having where you can see them moving around,
I think she's getting ready
probably
to have.
So another, 15 days.
No, I think another day or 2.
Damn, you reckon? Nah, just because she's lactating, I wouldn't say that. You could start lactating from the moment your body decides it's pregnant. You know what I mean? Couldn't it?
I'm gonna look it up, because I really feel like she's gonna be having, I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna look up cat birth signs.
Enlarged nipples, week 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while.
Week 5 or 6, visibly rounded abdomen. Fetal movements may be felt.
Yeah, I've been, okay, I swear I've been feeling them for a couple weeks.
Pronounced abdominal enlargement, yeah, 7 to 8. Frequent fetal movements. Nipples may become larger and darker and may become less active and sleep more. By week 9, the kittens are fully developed. That can't be right.
Yeah, I think they're only pregnant
Oh,
for,
these are weeks. My bad. That was
Yeah.
60 days. Yeah, 2 months. Okay, yeah, so 2 months. Week 10, it's imminent. Kittens are ready. She may become restless and groom excessively.
yeah, she's been licking herself for 2 days.
Yep.
Like her fur is wet every single time I go up to her because she's just been licking everything.
Yep.
Like especially her teeth. She's really been licking those like constant. Like I had to make her stop because I thought she was gonna rub them raw.
She had any vulvar discharge out of her?
No,
No.
nothing that I've seen.
Well, that's that may increase. It's that was one of the minor vulvar discharge in like week 5 or 6. So, yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe it is days, but how long do you got to go before you can wean them?
I have no clue. I guess I don't know. They wean them. They like with our first cat, she weaned it. She weaned them all. Like it got to a point where she like nursed it because we kept one of them, and she nursed it that one until the other 3 were gone. Like she stopped nursing them. She would push them away. She wouldn't come to them anymore. She would take them to the food and water. Like she stopped that. We didn't do anything. I did not with that first cat. I did not do anything except for make sure she had everything she needed.
This here says to between 8 and 10 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's any day, man. I think she could give them birth any day. I'm kind of excited, but I'm really scared and nervous.
Yeah, I don't want no part of that. You know the deal. You know the deal.
Well, you know what
we've had
else,
how many
Corey?
cats in this house because of you and your meddling? How many? How many have we had? This will be number
Well,
3.
we're not really keeping count of how many cats I have brought into your home. What we are keeping count of is how many cats you get to love.
No, I've loved my limit of cats. You forget, my family had cats too. We had cats. Oh, I had one just prior to meeting her.
Okay, then how about we get a dog? Do you
No.
want to get a dog?
I don't want any kind of goddamn animals.
None? You don't want one?
No.
Okay, well, what about your wife over there? Because she's an animal lover and she deserves one.
She's had plenty also. She's had more than me. She's the crazy cat lady in the neighborhood. All the kids in the neighborhood, every time they had kittens, bring them in. She
So
took
you're
every
telling me that the crazy cat lady in your neighborhood does not have a cat? I think that we may be able to fix that problem.
No, it's not a problem. It's actually liberating. And my brother has a barn full of cats. Okay. And every few weeks, well, if so and so's pregnant again, you're like, look, dude, I can't fight this shit off the rest of my life. I just told her we had cats for 25 years. Let's have some time without them. The deficit,
yeah, and I understand that.
It ain't been paid
I do
back
understand
up.
that.
Thank you.
I get it, man. I get it. Totally get it. You deserve some
The
years
balance.
without cats.
Yes. We need some peace and quiet.
I get it.
Ever since I
I
met
went
her.
so many years without. I grew up with cats, and then as soon as I moved in with Dan, and me and Dan started life together, he did not want cats, so we did not have cats. So I had the first, 12, 13 years of our marriage, I didn't get any cats. We had to have dogs, which I did not grow up with.
Yeah, with them. We did.
So then when we got out in the country and all that stuff like that, I was like, I'm for sure getting cats. And we've tried, but we live in the country. And if you don't get them fixed right away, they run off. I mean, I let a boy cat out once, took off. One of our neighbors got a cat, got home, opened up the car door, it jumped out, ran into the woods, they never saw it again.
Yeah. Well, mine came back until the day he didn't. But Lucky would be gone for days at a time. And Woodrow, one of our cats that we had together, that he was gone for like 2 years. We were like, fine. We're like, well, it's sad that Woodrow's gone. And then we went out and we're like going out to get in the car one day, and there he is walking across the neighbor's yard. And we're like, what, Woodrow? What the? And he came in and came home and like, where you been for 2 years?
One time when we were younger, when I was a kid, we had a cat. We got it from the Humane Society, and it was that winter. It would like be gone for like a week or two, and then it'd come back for a couple days, and be gone for like a week, come back for a couple days. That happened until the springtime. Then it came in, and it had a different collar on it, and if we had put a collar, like a flea collar on it, but we didn't put like a collar. It had a collar with an address that was like at the end of our street.
Yeah.
So my mom went down there, knocked on their door, and she's like, hey, this is our cat. And it was 2 little girls that lived there. And they were like, oh, is it? It's been living here for like 6 months. And we let it out sometimes. It'll run away for a couple days, but it always comes right back. And so then we started talking, and those it was like, it totally lived there. And it was such a lovable cat. So we were just like, here, take it. So they took it, and they just left it in, and we never saw it again.
And my sisters had a cat, and they lived in apartments in O'Fallon, and their neighbor Jill, she got sick. She had HIV and was real sick, and she had a little daughter and stuff with her. And Abby, our cat, she started going over there and hanging out with her and being like a support kitten. It was pretty neat. I'd come home and they'd be letting her out, and she'd come out of their house and come in. I'd be going over there and open the door, and she'd come into our house, and it was pretty nice. I didn't mind sharing her. Abby was one of them that liked to make biscuits with her claws. She'd have to do that before she could sit down on you. I don't like it with the claws, man. I mean, you do it like on top of the quilt or something, so it's not stabbing me.
Yeah, if you have a hoodie on or something, like it'll be fine. But
yeah, good luck with all that. Let me know. Keep us posted on the progress, Wayne.
Will do.
All right. Well, that leads us on to our next topic. Our next general topic. It'll lead many places, I'm sure, but it's where we put our tinfoil hats back on. The Moon Landing. 1969, we landed a guy on the moon.
Did we not?
Allegedly landed him on the moon and returned him safely to home. Kennedy said that was his mission in the early 60s, and he said, I will make it our mission. Hi, Dan.
I'm trying to get him to sit down for a minute. We just started the conversation of the moon landing.
Moon landing, yeah. Said he was going to make it our mission to send a man to the moon and return him safely to home. And that's what they set about doing. Created NASA, I believe. I mean, it's not a government institution, NASA isn't, but I think the president had something to do with it. Anyway, Russia at the same time also made it their mission to send people to the moon. Had all kinds of, scientists and everybody had money, and the communist government was putting their whole, everything they had behind it. And it was the Cold War, so we couldn't let Russia win. So we we had to fight him and win. A lot
That's
of
my
people.
only thing about the whole thing is that we absolutely 100% were behind in the quote unquote space race. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Soviet Union was way ahead of us. And then all of a sudden we were on the moon.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the big main, pieces of evidence, at least the one that I use in my mind to determine if it's true or not. You don't go from, you don't just catch up. We didn't have hardly any successes. Gemini program before the Apollo, we put men in orbit and stuff, but by then Russia had already done spacewalks and all kinds of stuff. Animals, women, they had every first thing into orbit. Sputnik, it's a satellite, little smooth chrome ball looking thing with some antenna on it.
Yep. First
dog.
artificial satellite.
Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, and then we went to the moon, and then Russia stopped trying. How come Russia didn't send some men to the moon? That was their next thing. They were, you know what I mean? We supposedly went to the moon and won, and then Russia just stopped trying to go to the moon. They didn't want to be second. They didn't want to fulfill
Did they
their
put
mission.
someone on the moon?
No one's been on the moon except for the men that the USA put up there. I don't think anybody else has landed men on the moon. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's look that up because I don't know the answer to that, and I would like to. But I've heard people say the only men that walked on the moon were in this damn fucking AI prediction. I just had to type in about 3 words, and it gave me a whole entire list of stuff. 12
Well, it's
men.
been listening to our whole conversation, Corey.
12 men. That's true, it has. Well, and the tab that I'm using has all kinds of this stuff already on it. 12 men have walked on the moon, all of whom were American astronauts from NASA's Apollo program between 1969 and 1972. Now, mind you, this is Gemini AI. It's not, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
6 successful moon landings, with the first being Neil Armstrong and the last being Gene Cernan. He was the commander in 1972, the year of our Lord that I was born. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. So no other country has made it to the moon. How did these Americans make it? And then that was they just stopped exploration of space after that. The next space mission that the United States did was Skylab, which was a satellite, like a permanent manned position in space. They put up the Skylab around the in orbit around and then had a guy up there, and then they'd go and I think that was the Skylab. And they developed the space shuttle to send supplies and people up to the thing. Space shuttle came about in the 70s also.
I just seen China's planning a manned mission to the moon in 2030.
Dun, 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 dun. Off cam, Dan.
Yep.
Dan,
And
Dan.
I've also seen that they were developing a flag that won't fade in the sun. They're using like different rocks to make threads, like
I did
colored
see
pigmented
that.
rocks
Rocks
kind of
to make thread out of?
to make their flag so it won't fade in the sun. Because I guess the
Yeah, it's
flag
harsh.
that's up there.
Yeah, harsh. That's how come you can't see the stars from the moon's surface. They say that's one of the big evidence things against this, them landing on the moon, is the photographic evidence. And there's miles of it. Because they, documented a bunch of stuff, but they're, you can't see the stars. There will be stars everywhere. Well, you're standing on this really bright white, colored thing. It's too bright for you to see the stars, especially with the cameras that they had at the time. It's 1969.
Yeah, that'd be like trying to see the stars in the daylight. If you wait till you're on the dark side of the moon or something, you probably see a ton.
Yeah, it's daytime on the moon, the side that we see.
Yeah, let's talk about the dark side of the moon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, have we ever been over there?
We have there have been exploration of the dark side of the moon, but I don't think we landed on the dark side of the moon ever. There's been satellites and probes.
I'm pretty sure every landing they go around the backside, like swoop around and then land on the front side.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Decelerate and then land, go around it slowly, orbit it, and get lower each time around. Yeah.
You see all the things about the questionable things they seen on the dark side of the moon. There were buildings or even things flying.
Yep. Lights. There's been the people have seen stuff on the bright side of the moon too. Those same phenomena. There's video footage of that all over the internet too. Yeah, they say there used to be a guy named what's his name? God dang it, I'm not gonna remember his name. Richard. And he was always on our bell. He was he's a scientist. He had a whole series of books and movies and stuff about. He thought there were like glass towers and stuff on the moon. He claims and shows evidence in the photographs that NASA provides, off their own website, and took those photographs and changed the contrast and the color. And look here, there's glass towers. There's these spires are just hundreds of feet tall. Like I don't think there are any glass buildings on the moon. Okay.
I would
maybe
agree
there
with that.
are.
I don't think that there's any glass buildings on the moon either.
As many pockmarks there are on the surface from craters and whatnot, craters from asteroids, and there would be no glass. How could there be any glass buildings that are invisible, except if you change the camera settings when you take pictures of it? You know what I mean? Like, and what purpose would they serve? Now, I guess alien life, there would be, my primitive mind wouldn't be able to, kind of.
The other theory is it could be a previous human settlement that, some kind of cataclysm wiped us out back to forgetting it all. But maybe there were some prehistoric man-made things on the moon.
Yeah. From civilization long ago, a different one. Well, there are lots of strange things about our moon that kind of they're unique, at least to our solar system that we know of. None of the other moons in our solar system, any of them, and there are hundreds, I'm sure. Jupiter's got like 30 or something. We're the only one that has our moon is about the same size as we are. It's a little smaller. It's not quite as big as us. Some people consider it kind of a twin planet system rather than a moon and a main planet. And it's the only one that's locked in the same, we see the same side of the moon all the time.
Yeah. Like, how come we never see, how come it doesn't rotate too?
Well, it does. I don't know how they describe it. I don't know how they explain it. It does, but it's so slow that you don't see it or something. Like when we can't see the moon, its backside is to us when we can't see it, when there is no moon or something. Like I don't know. They say it does rotate. Let's look that up. Let's see. Dan, what do you say off the top of your head?
No, otherwise it wouldn't be a dark side of the moon.
Well, that just means, there's always a dark side for 12 hours.
He's saying that the same dark side is always like, here's the Earth. Here,
yes.
And okay.
So it's the dark side on all sides of the Earth. So it's got to be the dark side always, like always facing away.
The moon does rotate on its axis, but it does so at the same rate it orbits the Earth. This is a phenomenon called synchronous rotation or tidal locking, which results in the same side of the moon always facing Earth. So it does spin. We just don't see it. Because the rotation and orbit are synchronized, the moon appears to an Earth-based observer to be keeping the same face towards us all at the same time. So the dark side is a myth. The far side is not permanently dark. It receives sunlight when the near side is dark during a new moon phase.
Right. I got that. I thought Same thing as what I was thinking. The dark side is always dark to us, like not dark to light, but we don't ever
Yeah.
see it.
Correct. We do not. Which is well, that's one of the things that made us, want to, hey, let's explore this thing. Let's send some people up there. It controls the tides here. It affects our moods. When there's a full moon, crazy shit happens.
I was watching something recently where they're talking about all the different moons in our galaxy or in our solar system, and ours is odd because it's perfectly round, within fractions. Like a lot of the other moons are like
oddly shaped,
potato shaped.
Yeah, and rough and bumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturn's got some crazy moons, man. Ganymede, Titan, I think is one of Saturn's moons. It might be Jupiter, I can't remember, but
Isn't Pluto a moon now? They consider
No.
that a moon.
they considered it what was it? I think it's a full-blown planet again. I think they finally decided just to call it a planet.
I don't think so, because my kids, they don't teach that it's a planet.
I think because they have found other similar sized objects further out in our solar system that they can't really say it's a planet because there are other big dark objects out there that kind of fall in the same category, so they don't know where to stop and start. So I think they just said that it's no longer a planet, it's just space junk orbiting outside of our solar system.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it has been reclassified. 2006. So yeah.
Yeah.
It orbits the sun and is round, but it shares its orbital path with other objects in the Kuiper belt, which is what you said, Dan. Some stuff floating around out the skirts of our solar system. Yeah. But damn. It's it's a dwarf planet. Like Ceres, Eris, Makemake, and Haumea. I've heard of a couple of them, but not the last two. And I never heard of Makemake. All right. Well, then we know that they've set this thing into motion. Kennedy and Khrushchev have said, we're going to the moon. Goddamn it, we're going. It was such a major political thing. On top of it being this great human achievement, the greatest scientific achievement in the world. They say.
Is there a
Pressure was on.
is there a goal to go back, like any certain
Yeah,
objective?
they just said.
Yeah.
No, like what's the point? Like other than just not having gone there in a while.
Well, I think to get that truthful answer, we would have to find out why they stopped going to begin with, and claim that they lost the science to do it. The
I thought it was all
technology
budget, because it used to be like NASA was like 4% of the national budget. Now it's like 1% or something like that, or I forget the numbers, but it's significantly less. It like went down.
It did get lots of cuts, but that's not why they stopped going. We lost interest in it. The country didn't need, when they were saying that, we were in the midst of the Cold War. Vietnam hadn't even started yet. When they stopped going to the moon, Vietnam was already over. So the whole country was changed. When people were looking at stuff in 1965 about us going to the moon, it was a way to gather everyone together and rally behind the country. By 72, there was the generation gap was getting real bad because the hippies and the freaks and all the, what I mean? That kind of stuff wasn't around in 65 when we were trying to rally the troops. That's all a mystery, and it's all part of this hoax too, this hoax theory, I should say. We just stopped. It's the greatest contribution to science ever. It's this greatest achievement. And then now it's over, and no other countries are going to try it. And even if we wanted to go back, we couldn't, because we lost the technology. They say that in the film. If you remember the film that you watched, funny thing happened on the way to on the moon. Remember that?
Dan didn't watch as much of it because he falls asleep pretty fast whenever he lays down at night.
Yeah, he's tired. Works hard. Well, in it,
Someone's got to, right?
They show scientists. Bart Sabrell, this guy that made this movie, wrote a book, and then they turned it into a documentary. He shows in this movie this scientist, this NASA astronaut guy, saying, "I'd go to the moon in a heartbeat," but the truth is, we can't. We just don't have the technology to do it. And they're all, people's ask, "Well, you had it once, well, it got lost. That technology was lost, and now it's too big of a struggle to get it back. Well, that that's it's not a reasonable explanation. How do you lose the greatest scientific contribution ever? Just lose it, tape over the tapes, and lose. Burn. Did it burn in a fire? I mean, that's part of the whole part of the conspiracy too. Maybe not heard anything.
I did some looking on why we haven't gone recently. It all came back to budget, but now that we got reusable rockets, that changes how much it costs to get up there.
I understand. I understand that may be why they stopped doing it the way they were doing it. But why did they spend what resources they had on finding a new way to do it? That they struggled so hard to get this one to work. You know what I mean? Like, why not just retool and make it better, make it more efficient, make the systems work better, instead of just stopping? What was the whole point of going? Was it all just a political?
Well, that's where
move?
I'm at with the whole thing. Is what was the point of going? What was
Just
the point of
stop it.
going? I thought, we go. What year did we go? 1969. 1969.
Yep.
It is now 2025. And when I was a kid in the 90s, we were supposed to be living on the moon by now. People were supposed to be inhabitants of the moon.
Yeah.
What happened to that? We still, I should have witnessed somebody walking on the moon by now. I'm 37 years old. How
Yeah,
come
but
I haven't?
You may never.
That's crazy.
The answer could be that we never went.
That's what I'm saying. Did we ever go?
The reason why they stopped and the reason why they haven't gone back is because they never did in the first place, because it's physically impossible. That's what some people say.
I know.
If you look at the lunar module, the LEM that they used to go down onto the moon, it isn't a spaceship like made of metal, and I mean there's metal on it. I'm not saying that, but it was super lightweight and flimsy. Like, the difference between like an RV and a house. That's a big difference. You know what I mean? How stuff is built in an RV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever been in an RV that's like about 10 or 12 years old?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking rickety, man. It's still together, but anyway, my point is this vigorous 230,000-mile journey that they're going into, they've never been before, through radiation that will fry anything. Van Allen radiation belts. In this flimsy little capsule of a thing that I don't know how it could be faked and be so, like, why would they make it look the way they made it? It looks like it's made with like curtain rods and like aluminum foil. You ever look at a picture of it?
Yeah, I was watching some stuff today. I was watching some stuff about like the actual footage of it. And it was, I don't know, in my book, because I guess I wasn't alive then, and I feel like stuff that was made back then was poor quality. So I feel like the quality of it, I'm like, well, yeah, because it was made in 1960s. But I don't know. I keep going back to why don't we keep going? Why aren't we there? How come it's not a thing? Like, didn't they just send a whole group of women? Why didn't they send them to the moon?
Well, them people, they weren't in space. They weren't even really in lunar orbit for just briefly. It was like 10 minutes or something. Like, it wasn't even, they didn't go around the Earth, I don't know how many times they went around. Surely they didn't. How long was it? It wasn't that long, man. They did
No,
barely.
it's like an hour or something.
Did they go around the whole?
No, they just
Earth?
went up and came back down.
Well, it wasn't no hour then. They were in space for an
What are you
hour.
looking at?
They'd have been on the other side of the world.
What are you looking up over there?
How long were they in space?
I don't remember what they were called. Were you talking about Katy Perry and Gail from Oprah and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Bezos, Amazon Bezos'
See,
wife
like
was
when
on
I
there.
was a kid, I would have thought that mission would have happened, but they would have went to the moon. Like popular
Celebrities.
people, yes, celebrities would have gotten a group together, and I would have been seeing this with my kids, them going to the moon. No, they just went up in a rocket and came back down.
It was
Yeah.
approximately 10 minutes they were in space.
10 minutes.
This is what I said, about 10 minutes. Yeah, that makes sense. I knew they didn't orbit the Earth or anything. That's what people were saying, was that they didn't really go to space. I mean, they did technically. They broke through, the atmosphere and all that, and they saw outer space briefly, and it would have been a hell of a trip. I'm sure there'll be lots of civilians doing it right quick. Once they've proved concept that they can do it, people will pay to do it. But that was in a much different ship too, though. The ship we're talking about is flimsy looking.
Okay, so let's just ask the final question. Corey, like, do you think it really happened and we landed on the moon and all that is real? Yes, no.
Yes, I
Dan,
do think we landed on the moon.
I think we did land on the moon. I think some of the footage may have been fabricated, but
Yes. Some of the evidence that they gave us, and there's lots of strange things about all of it. All the footage and the proof, the photographics, there's all kinds of funny shit about all of it. But
how many different conspiracy theories are there though about the moon? I mean, you can go so many different ways around it.
Mhm. Yeah, there's people that claim that they worked there and know that it's fake, and saw, they said they saw stuff that said there was no way they could have actually done it. The film thing for me is, how do you get that film? It would have had to been carried in a lead container to not. I mean, or they went through the radiation. I don't see how they could. Did they all die of cancer? That's what radiation does to you. Cause you.
the quick AI Google said that the exposure to radiation was short enough, it did not affect the astronauts.
What about the
And
film?
it, and it just said delicate electronic equipment. So I guess if it's robust enough, I mean, I don't know. I know there's lots of technologies now that would
Sure.
get through there. I mean, there's
You look at the
But,
build. Look at the build sheet of the LEM, dude. There's nowhere, like the place where they stored the film and the cameras and stuff isn't shielded. There isn't lead on it. It's had to be lightweight, and I just don't believe that. Because even the smallest, like I said, an X-ray at the airport will ruin your film.
yeah, but they sent unmanned missions into space previously before sending manned missions. So don't you think they've tested or engineered?
Well, I don't know. If you believe that they went, they would have had to. So, I mean, I guess, yeah. I know that there's one theory about how they got through the radiation belt, was that because it's kind of a donut shape, there's space on the top and bottom, like where the donut hole would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they left
That
Earth's
that seems
atmosphere,
pretty
they were on the
precise
top,
that you would
bottom.
have to get it in that exact precise spot.
Yeah. Dude, there are
And-
people that say science doesn't exist. So
And there
You
was
know?
also that special film developed just for filming nuclear bombs that's like EMP and
Yeah.
radiation resistant.
certainly. However, the film that they claim they used isn't that stuff.
Oh.
You can find all this stuff on the NASA website. This is the information there, everything they have, they let you look at. There are just thousands and thousands of photographs and documents and stuff. But all the most important shit, the telemetry data, the data that they have to show you how to do it, somehow got lost. The most important part somehow just happened to get lost. These are, I do believe we went. You can go back and look. There's modern telescopes and satellites and stuff that countries have put around the moon that can take photographs of the landing sites. And the evidence of us being there is still there. You know, you can see where we landed. The moon buggy and shit still there. The part of the limb that we broke off of to shoot up into the sky to get back to the orbiter. Do we think we went, Anna? Do you think we landed on the moon?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I do think that we've been there. I think there's enough evidence that we've been there. But did Apollo 11 with those two people walk on the moon with the pictures that we see in the video that we see? I don't know. I think that there's something fishy about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I can't put my finger on it, kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do I only believe it because that's what I was indoctrinated to believe?
Right. That's what kind of feels like. Am I believing that because I'm told to believe that? And that's what's always been told to me. And now that other evidence, I'm like questioning it. And everybody's like, you shouldn't question that. I don't know. So that's it's doubt, because where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep.
But otherwise, I don't know.
Why were they being so fishy with some of the photographic evidence? You know, some of the stuff in that documentary we talked about, Bart Sabrell's movie. There's a scene where it's the three guys in the capsule and they're traveling on the moon. It's like day 1 or whatever, or day 2 or whatever it is. It takes 3 days, and it was somewhere along the line. And they show the window back. You can see Earth, you know, in the distance behind them, and it's real little in the window. And then they kind of cut, you know, they say cut or whatever, but then you see them remove a big, like a piece of board with a hole cut in it from the window, and then it becomes giant, and the Earth is, because they're really only in low Earth orbit, pretending to be 2.5 days away. And it looks like what they're saying it looks like. What is that? Is that just some, I mean, it's them dudes. It ain't like I guess it could be faked nowadays, but I'm not sure it could have been faked in the freaking 60s. You know what I mean? Did you see that part of the movie? It's in there.
No, I tried, man. I tried.
Yep.
But as soon as I lay down in bed, I go to sleep. You know, especially if he's sleeping. He's snoring. I'm really snoring like 10 minutes.
Watch it when you ain't fucking sleeping. Or laying down. How about that?
Okay,
turn it up and watch it. I don't know.
got time for that.
Yeah, I think it's not really that long. The thing that I just saw said it was 47
No,
minutes.
it's like 45 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 45 minutes. I've turned it on 6 times. I probably watched the whole thing. I just didn't watch it all at once.
Okay. I'm just messing with you anyway. You don't have to even watch it. I just wanted you to watch it to prep for this conversation.
Yeah, and we did.
He was on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan debunked a bunch of the shit. And he told him, dude, you're ignoring the true facts here. You're just pushing your agenda. So, you know, I don't know. He's not the only guy, but Buzz Aldrin punched him in the face. Bart Sabrell Sabrell, the filmmaker and author, he went up to these guys, Neil Armstrong and Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin. And Buzz Aldrin punched him in the face. He called Buzz Aldrin a liar. You're a liar and a cheat. And he punched him. Boom. Look, old man, you know, Buzz this was like in the late 80s, early 90s when this happened and shit. He was old by then.
I don't remember that.
Punched him right in the face. You know, and I don't agree with that kind of filmmaking, that sabotage, ambush type bullshit.
Yeah.
He goes, here, I got a stack of Bibles. I want you to swear on the stack of Bibles you went to the moon. And he was like, get out of here, you maniac. And he was like, oh, you're a liar and a cheat. And he just boom, ducked him. I thought, yeah, right on. He deserved that. Okay, who you are. You walk up to anybody and call him a liar like that. You're going to get smacked. You deserve to get smacked. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. I got into this. Went down a rabbit hole one time on YouTube and spent just a couple of weeks looking at every video I could find on this shit. And at the end of it, I was like, man, I don't know. I guess we did go. But there's no way that I could know for sure. And I'm big on things that I can see. If I can't see it, I don't know that, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to believe it if I don't see it. But, and there's no way for me to actually see this. But
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. How come we haven't seen it again?
yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they will, but
I
they've,
want to see on my TV someone walking on the moon.
yeah, well, the video footage would be way better now. There are plans to go. There is a mission. I think it's called Orion. Is the mission NASA is currently working on? They got and it's close. I think they're fitting to do a test mission. They're going to go to the moon, but not land. I believe is the goal. They're going to
When's
go
that
there.
happening?
Well, in the coming year, I believe that in 2026. But once again, it's just they're not going to the moon. They're going to land. They're just going to see if they can do it with people on there. Which, they did that with Apollo too. It took them, Apollo 11 is the one where they landed.
Right.
There were
Yeah.
10 before where they didn't land to test every different thing. And I don't know. He even puts stuff from that in the video or in the documentary, them describing what they will do. Someday they'll be able to do this, and currently we can't do it. And using all this as evidence that everyone's lying. They're saying you can't go to the moon. How can you claim that we did when we can't physically do it? The scientists at NASA are saying we can't physically do it yet. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Start going down these conspiracy rabbit holes. You go nuts. We ain't even started
Dude.
talking about flat Earth or nothing.
And that's the thing is like, that's where on the first episode, we talked about like, what do you believe? Because even if we go to the moon again, would we even believe our eyes? Would we? Would
Yeah,
we believe what they're telling us?
right.
I don't know because we
Would it
just
look?
can't, we don't trust. There's no more trust anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't trust anything that I see. I don't trust anything that I hear. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
just
imagine.
so hard.
Yeah, I can't imagine that kind of an incident happening nowadays. And you talked about the first episode. You could go about 9/11. If that happened right now, do you think that everybody that's so divided right now would come together? Would everybody rally behind Trump like they did George W. Bush?
Yeah,
Even
I
the
don't know
liberals,
about that.
it was such a serious event that affected everyone. We put aside those differences and came together and won over, like despite the loss. I don't see that kind of stuff happening now. I don't think that
No.
we'll find anyone getting behind NASA now, wanting them to, supporting them to go to the moon. It's not even
No,
on
there's
people's
always going to
radar.
be that whole group of people protesting, which they might have been. Like you could spend this money on whatever, which they might have had
Exactly.
all that.
Sure there was.
I don't even
Late 60s,
know.
late 60s, there had to be. Vietnam was going on.
Yeah.
Kennedy, the one that made the mission to begin with, he was already shot and dead. He'd already been taken out. Fucking Nixon was the president when they
Yeah.
landed on the moon. Yeah, man.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I don't know. Let all you viewers that are watching this tell us what you think. Comment. Landed,
Please
not
do.
landed. What do you think? Or if we didn't land, if you think we didn't land, what is the one thing that makes you skeptical? Or
Yeah.
if you think we landed, what is something that definitely makes
What's your
you believe
proof?
it? Like
What's your proof
yeah.
either way?
I want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I do too, dude. I really do. And
I think it'd be interesting to see what other people have heard because we haven't heard it all.
no,
Obviously.
I only have my narrow view. Really, I don't have any other, I mean, I guess the stuff that I've researched in the past, looking at stuff, I've taken a little bit from all of them, but I think most people believe we did go.
I think definitely the older generations think that. I think the younger generations think it was fake. Think that it was
I don't know.
not definitely not what they said.
My mom,
And go ahead.
my mom's dad did not believe we went. He lived through it and didn't believe. He was alive while it was
Okay,
happening.
so even whenever it happened, there were skeptics right away.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, see, that makes me think it's even more fishy because
Bill
if something
Clinton wrote in his memoir that we didn't go. Like when he became president, they let him in on the secret. You're the president now. You get to know that we never really went. According to Bart Sabrell.
Yeah, I was gonna watch more stuff about Bart Sabrell because I don't know very much about him.
Kind of sleazy.
Is he?
A little bit.
Yeah. Well,
But
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. It doesn't really matter, I don't guess. But I do want to know what everybody has to say about it. And I want everybody to engage us. We're grateful for everybody tuning in and viewing us, listening to us while they're doing stuff and whatever. Keep it up. It helps us and it means a lot. Check out
Tell
our
us if there's something that you guys want to hear us talk about, like a
Yep.
topic that because we rack our brains all the time on a topic that we can discuss. So please, anything that you guys would be interested in hearing about.
anything you want us to hear our unique points of view on. Unique. Yeah. Check out our social media too, man. We're horrible at it. Anna and I recently just both admitted we're just not social media people. I don't know how to describe how little I know what to do on there. Or
Yeah,
how to.
I haven't really realized how little I do know about social media until
You
I
try
started
to.
doing this with you.
Yeah.
Because I don't really ever get on it at all. And now here I am like trying to do stuff on it and I don't even know how to work it. I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to even look at things because I'm never on social media. So
Well,
I'm learning and hopefully soon we will have some stuff up. I'm working on it.
well, I've made some posts, but I don't know that people just aren't following us, or I don't people know about it because it's a brand new account. It's NOTA 3753. And it's on Instagram too, except there's a dot. NOTA dot 3753. And yeah, I don't know. Well, let us know if you went to the moon or not, or if you believe we went to the moon or not. I mean, if you went to the moon, let us know too. That'd be swell. I'd love to hear that story. I went to the moon, Corey. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Well, you got anything else, or you got anything else you want to talk about?
No,
No?
I don't think I have anything else.
We talked about cats, Ace Frehley, and the moon.
I will
And
keep everybody posted. If my cat has kittens, I think I might make a video if she does.
We'll need progress reports periodically. All right. Well,
And I also this is one thing you guys can help me with, naming these kittens. We think there's going to be about 5 or 6. So anybody got any good, clever kitty cat names? Let me know.
yeah. Yeah, that's one of the funnest things about getting a new cat. It's being able to name them, come up with a cool name. And then like about 6 or 8 weeks into it, you find one you like better and like, wow, let's just call it this from now on.
That is why we're
I don't-
starting this process now, so that
don't
we can
like
go through the
Sparky
ones
anymore.
that I kind of like, and then they sleep on them, and then wake up the next day, and I don't really like them so much anymore. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're in the spur of the moment. They sounded, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah. But you've already gone through so many, they all kind of start to blend
you
together.
mean me personally, or
I
you
mean,
just mean like
the
in
names.
general?
the names start to blur because, and blend in because you've gone through so many.
Yeah, or somebody that had an animal that was named that. So you're like,
Yeah. Or you read it in a book or see it on a movie or something.
yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, I guess we'll sign off then. Till next
All
time.
right. All right.
From
Thanks,
everybody here
y'all.
at the None of the Above podcast.
Love
Good
you.
to-
Bye.
Good to each other. Bye.